Today we will look at the release and deployment management process. So what is actually release and deployment management? So what is release? So see, before understanding the entire process, let us first understand the meaning of release. Okay, so release is basically to the set of all authorized changes such as the processes or hardware or the softwares etc to an IT service. Okay, so where there are various types of releases, namely the major releases, minor releases, and emergency releases. So, major releases they refer to the new functionality or new hardware or software. Then minor releases refers to the improvement in the functionality of already existing hardware or software. Okay, and emergency is it is basically for emergency releases are meant they are made during emergency. Okay, they are made during emergency for temporary purposes. Okay, so release and deployment management, which I'll shortly call as RDM. Okay, so RDM involves planning, building, designing, okay, uh, testing and deploying new software or hardware elements in the live circumstances. So it is important to maintain the integrity of the live situation by implementing accurate releases with change management and also inform the change management that the release has been deployed. Okay, so the complete process of deployment and release management has some criteria which matches with the change management, then service evaluation and service validation and testing. And the final statement needs approval from, okay, they require a green signal from the change advisory board so that it can go into the production. And this approval states that in every stage of release and deployment the product was checked, so it is ready to produce mass product outcomes. And this particular process, release and deployment management process, also ensures that the customers have the skill and knowledge to utilize the service to the maximum extent. Okay, and the operators and the support staff must be well informed about the guarantees and the service levels of the product. So the RDM sector is also considered as the lifeblood of the service transition process. Okay, so to okay, so to effective implement the change and minimize its interference, the release and deployment management makes and enforces some policies. Okay, so following are some of the items which are restricted in a typical policy, namely the release naming and numbering conventions, expected frequency for every release type, roles and responsibilities at each stage of the process, and entry and exit criteria for acceptance into every service transition phase. So in short, the IDM process is designed to make sure that the releases are effectively and efficiently deployed. So see, the main purpose here. So the main purpose of the release and deployment management is to describe and make agree on release and deployment plans with stakeholders, safeguard all the release packages that consist of fixed related assets and service modules that are compatible with each other, ensure their liability of a released package, its basic components are maintained during the transition activities and detailed accurately in the configuration management system. It certifies all release and deployment packages can be followed, installed, experimented, verified, and uninstalled if necessary. Record and manage risks, deviations, issues related to the change or new service, and take required corrective action. Provide assurance for knowledge transfer that enables the customers and users to enhance their use of the service to support their commercial duties, and make sure that the knowledge and skills are conveyed to operations and support staff to permit them to deliver efficiently and effectively support and maintain the service according to required service levels and warranties. Okay. So next we come to the scope of release and deployment management. So it basically includes the systems, processes, and functions to package, build, test, and deploy a release into the operations. And effective release and deployment management adds value to the business or organization by providing change faster and at optimal cost with minimum risk, promising that the customers can use the changed or new service in order to support their own business and determine the value result has been achieved, increasing uniformity in execution method, contributing to meet auditable necessities through service transition. Well planned and executed release and deployment will make a substantial variance to a business service cost. Next, we come to some concepts of RDM, like the release policy, release unit, release identification, and release design options and considerations. So, see, what are these actually? So, the release policy. Okay. So, talking about the release policy, this basically protects the frequency, numbering, and a level in the IT infrastructure. So the company could choose the most suitable methodology that suits the nature and size of the systems, that releases the frequency required and answers the need of the users. And a release contains new or changed software or hardware which is required to apply the approved changes. So, okay. Next, we talk about the release unit. So basically, this describes the part of an IT infrastructure or service that is released together according to the release policy of the organization. So the unit may differ by the items or types of service asset or components like hardware and software. The overall ambition is to select the most appropriate release unit level for all the service assets or only a part of it. Okay, so there are some factors which are accountable for deciding the suitable level of release units, like the change required to release and deploy a release unit, then the number of resources and time required to build, test, distribute, and implement a release unit, the storage available in the build, test, distribution, and live environments, the difficulty of the crossing point between the proposed release unit and the other IT infrastructure and services. Next, we talk about release identification. So this should be identified uniquely. Okay, all releases made should be identified uniquely as per the release policy scheme. So the release identification should contain a reference to the CI, which represents the version number. Often this may have two or three parts. For example, minor releases. In case of minor releases, the HR systems might have versions like v.1.1 or v.1.2, etc. In case of major releases, the HR systems can have versions like v.1, v.2, v.3. Okay, and then in case of emergency releases, HR systems can have four parts like v.1.1.1, v.1.1.2, v.1.1.3, and so on. Okay. Next, we talk about the release design options and considerations. So here, the service design defines the method to transition from the current service to some new or changed service. So the general options for release and deployment have a significant impact on the release and deployment resources along with the business outcomes. And it is essential to understand the patterns of the business activity and the types of the users while planning and designing the releases. So next we come to the release and deployment process. So these are the various steps involved. Okay, the three steps: release and deployment planning, build and test, and deployment. So talking about the deployment, release and deployment planning. So talking about release and deployment planning, uh, The initial phase in release and deployment planning is the service design package. Okay, so which is basically for design coordination. Okay, so the service design package provides all the procedures for packaging and deployment. Next, we have the release, build, and test. So this step basically starts with the authorization from the change management to build and test the release. It defines the authorization by change management to check the software in the DML. Here, the release packages are made and tested according to the criteria identified in the previous steps. Okay, and genuine testing is considered by the service validation and test process. Lastly, we have deployment. So this step starts with the approval by the change management to set up the release. So there are various activities, okay, based on the measure of the release. Like I'll just state a few, like report of the stakeholders shows the safeguard that they are aware of changes and agree with the deployment plans. Then you have deployment to the live environment, in invocation of the withdraw or backup plan if necessary. Then documentation of any deviances from the planned effort, cost or results, review, close, etc. Next, we come to the objectives. So, release and deployment management assures that taking change faster at optimum cost and minimized risk, deployment of release package successfully is on time, new services can deliver the agreed service needs, there is a transferring of knowledge which allows the customers and users to enhance their use of service to help their business activities, and minimal unpredicted effect on the production services operation and support organization. Lastly, we have some sub processes. Okay, so before these are some sub processes, and objectives are like release management support, and we have release planning. So we'll go through one by one. So talking about the release management support, well, it gives the guidelines and helps for the deployment of releases. Next, we have the release planning. So basically the goal here is to allocate approved changes to release the packages. It also describes the scope of releases. Release build, so it assures that all elements are ready to enter the testing phase. Release deployment, it involves the deployment of the new release in the live scenario, then early live support. So the basic aim is to rectify the operational issues during the initial period after the release deployment process. And lastly, we have release closure. So it deals with closing a release after making sure the activity logs and CMS contents are up to date. Then we have some KPIs of release and deployment management process. So the KPIs are listed here along with the definitions given. So firstly, we have number of releases. So number of releases rolled out into the productive environment grouped into major and minor releases. Duration of the major release deployments, like average duration of major deployments from the clearance until completion. Then you have the number of release backouts. Okay, which, so how many number of releases have been reversed. Okay, and proportion of automatic release distribution. So any, if any new releases are distributed, okay, the proportion needs to be done automatically. So that's all from release and deployment management.